Hey guys, it's Gary from The Blast. We got some interesting news today. Louis C.K. is trying to make a triumphant return to comedy, but he's testing the waters, and he did it at one of the most iconic places in the comedy world. If you haven't heard about it, gonna talk a little bit about it. It's called the Comedian's Table. And for those that don't know, there's a very famous comedy club in New York called the Comedy Cellar. Tons of people perform there. Obviously, Louis C.K., Amy Schumer, Chris Rock, Jerry Seinfeld. I mean, the list goes on and on. When you are, a top-level comedian, even when you're starting out, the Cellar is one of the go-tos. Above the Cellar, there's a cafe called the Olive Tree Cafe. And at that cafe, there is a table that exists that is permanently reserved for comics that perform at the Cellar. And you are literally not allowed to sit there. If you do, you're not a comic. I don't know what's going to happen to you, but you don't want an angry Chris Rock, coming up to you because you're sitting at his table. Now, Louis on Monday night actually went to the Olive Tree Cafe and reclaimed his seat at the table. This is a big deal because of what this table represents. I mean, this is the comedian's table. They sit around and there's been lore, there's been articles written and lots of stories about how these comedians would sit at this table and just riff for hours and hours. And Louis has remained kind of, out of the public for the last couple months after the news broke of his sexual misconduct, and he eventually admitted and apologized for it. And obviously, we know the story. He lost his movie. There was a Netflix special he lost. But this is a guy who loves to talk, get stuff off his chest. That's how he deals with, not only funny stuff, but sad stuff too. We're all, we're fans of Louis. We've seen his specials. That's how he vents. And he wants to talk, but he's worried about how he's going to be perceived in public, whether, people are going to accept him, whether his own comedians will accept him, because remember, a lot of these stories had to do with him allegedly stifling the career of female comedians because of, what they may have witnessed in regards to his sexual misconduct. So Louis coming back to the comedy world, coming back to the comics table, is a huge deal. And we're told it went over very well, that not only is he, kind of being perceived well in the public, he is walking around the city more. We published a story earlier in the week where you see this photo here. He was out just kind of walking around, and we haven't seen this from him lately. So he's clearly trying to test those waters. We're told the comics were very excited to see Louis. Now, he sat with Joe List, who is a comedian who opened for Louis in 2016 during his stand-up tour, and also Michelle Wolf, who is a very popular comedian. I believe she has a new special on Netflix coming out. They sat with him for a couple hours, just talked, and had a generally good time. So, we're told that he is, clearly working on some stuff. He has not stepped back on the stage. That's going to be another big deal. I mean, when he finally decides that, now is the time to come back on stage. And listen, if you don't think Louis is going to talk about this incident and how it affected his life, you don't know Louis. And this will be, when he is ready to address it, will be very interesting, and a lot of people will tune in. But he's not ready yet. But him coming back to the fame table and being accepted by his peers is a big step. So we'll have to keep our eyes out for when Louis, makes any sort of announcement or hints that he's coming back in a bigger way. For now, keep checking out The Blast. We will keep you updated. Make sure to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and subscribe on YouTube. See you guys.